Here we go. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Melanie. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good.
The weekend was okay. It was peaceful and relaxing.
Yes, I had a pretty peaceful and relaxing weekend. And how about you?
Yes, it was good. There's always things that I can find to do, regardless of the weather.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the weather was pretty stormy, pretty rainy, and pretty drab this weekend.
yeah. Oh, yeah, and I think this whole week is going to be one of those weeks too, right? Stormy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And Steve, I remember, I think it was last month when we had a whole week of rain. Almost every person that I talked to in counseling talked about feeling depressed and
yes,
down, just kind of,
yeah,
tired and mm, meh, you know.
yeah.
And it was, and I'm,
Lethargic, very lethargic. People get.
yeah, yeah. And I'm expecting that again this week.
Well, yeah, and I was thinking about that on the weekend. I wonder sometimes if times like this when it gets stormy and the weather gets really drab it's really nature telling us that we need to just relax and chill.
Yeah.
So a lot of my activities when it's raining out, they change, right? They, like
Yeah.
I'm always reading a book, so there's 2 or 3 books that I can just hunker down and read,
Yeah.
right? I think that, so my activities change according to what the weather's like, really.
Yeah. Yeah, mine too. Although I'm kind of opposite from you. When I get rain, I start working in the house and actually cleaning the house, which doesn't happen all that
Yeah.
often. So
No.
maybe the rain has a different effect on me. It gets
Yeah.
me
Well, there's
motivated
always,
to.
I'm sure my wife Nancy would probably want me to do a bit more around the house. There's always things to do, is my point, though. There's,
Yes,
if you can't go outside, there's other things that you can do.
absolutely. That's right. Yeah. And the storms of this week has really reminded me of the storm that we've been through for the last 3 months,
Yes.
and how similar it is. These rainstorms and thunder showers that we've had in the last week. I mean, they're literal rain showers, but yet we've been through this symbolic kind of storm in the last 3 months where things can feel, you know, um, hopeless, or they can feel dark, or they can feel,
Yeah.
like something worse is coming along.
Yeah.
And it
Very
can,
daunting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like having a rain cloud over us and over our world
Yes.
as we've been through the self-isolation, the restrictions, the safety protocols, and the fear of getting ill, or somebody that we love getting ill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. It's very unsettling, right? And it's like when people, I was just mentioning to you that looking at the weather forecast, I quit doing that, right? Because it's
Yeah,
very unsettling. There's no predictability.
that's right.
Right. And so, after a while, I thought, you know what, it doesn't really matter. If I go out, I'll take my rain jacket.
Yeah. And like you said, the weatherman can't predict it, even though they try.
Yeah.
Just like the newscasters or the politicians or the
Yeah.
scientists have been trying to predict this COVID-19 for the last 6 months. And, they're doing
Yeah.
their best. They're doing their best according to what they've got and what they know, but they're not always right.
No, no,
There's been
no.
many
And,
surprises.
and that's maybe that's for me, at least personally, maybe I need to let go of those things and quit trying to predict what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Because these storms are really unsettling, right? And it's
Yeah.
unusual for us this time of year to have this much. So again, to me,
Yeah.
it's just another metaphor that we're involved in this huge change in our lives that's going on right now. And the storms just complement the COVID
Yeah.
virus, right? It sort of goes hand in hand.
Yep. And while it's human nature to try to take control, so,
Yeah.
in a rainstorm, in a literal rainstorm, where, where's our umbrella? Where's our jackets? Get into the shelter, wait it out, look to see where the clouds are breaking up. Same as with the COVID-19, it was human nature and is human nature for us
Yeah.
to get our masks on, to seclude, to wash our hands, to watch for danger, take our vitamins, to try to control as much as we can. But what you've just noted is really we can control what we do, but we
Yes.
cannot control what happens out there with the virus, with the storm. All we can do is wait it out
Yep. And adapt,
and adapt. Yes.
right?
And
And,
so,
and I think it's having that positive mindset, that thinking about adapting.
Yes.
rather
So
than
what would
having
it,
to adapt with us.
what would adapting look like in the COVID-19 storm?
Well, I think for me, I've kind of accepted the fact that when I go out shopping, we'll have to wear a face mask. That
Yes.
might become a regular thing. And at first I didn't like it,
Yeah.
but then really when you think about it in the overall scheme, is it that big a deal
Right.
for our safety, right? It's, I wear a mask when I go shopping, I take it off when I go home.
Yeah.
That's one example where originally it was a big deal for me, but now it's not really. I just keep a couple masks in the car,
Yeah.
right? And so I think it's same as, isolating ourselves gradually as things open up and people start congregating together. I think, for me, I still realize that we're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
And so I just have to change my activities and I have
Yeah.
to be more selective in what I'm doing.
Yes. And I agree, Steve. I've had to do that as well. And then the other thing that I've had to do is change my mindset.
Yes.
So changing what I believe about myself or what I believe about my world. So being able to let go of those thoughts that, well, I can fix this.
Yeah.
I can make it different. And then getting mad and resentful and bitter because I can't change it. I can't make this go away. I can't
Yeah.
make it not be what it is.
Yes. You
And
can't change it.
And so for me, what that means is redirecting my thoughts to more coping thoughts, to more positive thoughts, like things that I do have control over, which
Yes.
is my sense of well-being, that this storm will pass just like every storm passes. That
Yeah.
this,
I agree. I think the storm's going to pass. And it's also, I think about it really reinforces to me about living in the present.
yes,
So I
yes,
find I get stressed when I'm kind of looking to the future, looking to next week, or wondering, how this is all going to play out. And really, I don't have any control over that. And then I get stressed because of that. And I really, I have to very consciously say to myself, what's happening today?
yeah,
What do you have control over today that you can do?
absolutely. That's exactly right. So
Yeah.
part of that refers back to some videos the video that I did with Melissa a couple months ago, which was gratitude. What am
Yes.
I grateful for today? And so you were saying, when the rain comes, you're grateful for that opportunity to just chill out, just take
Yes.
it down a notch and not do much at all in the house and take that time for
Yeah.
yourself to relax.
Yeah. And not feel guilty. I think that's the key too, is that I think
Yes.
as a society, we have to accept the fact that those times are going to happen and we should feel
Yes.
guilty about it.
That's
It's
right.
okay to do nothing,
That's right. Yep.
just look after yourself and
Yes. It's so important, actually.
yeah.
Yeah. Being non-productive is just as important as being productive because
Yes.
one allows the other.
Yes. Without
Yeah.
feeling guilty. I think that's the key, right? We have
Yeah.
to value it and accept it.
Yeah. I totally agree with that for sure. Yeah. So in waiting for this storm to pass and, accepting it for what it is and knowing that soon it will pass and it may offer a different season, a different, type of weather, but still will be okay. I wanted to offer people who are watching some positive affirmations that they could use to get themselves through that time. And
Excellent.
like you were saying, these positive affirmations can ground people in the right now, in the present, but also in what they have control over, which is their perspective or their thoughts about the situation.
Ah, yes, that's a very good point.
Yeah. So some of those affirmations, I mean, people can pick whatever they want. There's a lot available on the internet, but here are some to start with.
Sure. Okay.
I am wonderful and unique. I can get through this too. I am strong and courageous. I have done this before and I can do it again. It's okay to feel this way. It's a normal human reaction. These are just feelings, and feelings are not fact.
Mm.
Or these are just thoughts, and thoughts are not fact. This is difficult and uncomfortable, but I can do hard things. I have inner strength and resources. Things are getting better every day. I make wise decisions based on what I know. And I love this one. All is well right here, right now.
Good.
Yeah.
I noticed with those affirmations how it really focused on our thoughts and our feelings.
Yes.
And checking in. For me, that means that I need to check in with my thoughts and check in with my feelings to find out if they're actually valid.
Yes.
And I think that whole process of doing that grounds yourself, because then you come to the realization that, hey, things aren't that bad as what it feels like originally.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and this reminds me of the meditation or the mindfulness that I want to do right now, which is that no matter what's going on around us, there is something that cannot be taken from us.
Yes.
And that is our sense of self, our sense of peace. Because if we fight for that, it can't be taken away.
Yep.
They can, the coronavirus can take away our jobs, it can take away our health, it can take away our financial stability, or even our friends and our family, the closeness that we have with them. But it cannot take what I know and what I believe and the ability that I have to focus on the positive.
Yep. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. So I want to do a mindfulness, if that's okay with everybody, called the Guided Mountain Meditation. And this is taken from Jon Kabat-Zinn's work.
Okay.
And I just love that guy. And this is one of my very favorite mindfulness meditations. It's a bit longer than some of them, but I'll try to cut it down a little bit. If you want the full version, I think it goes for like 20 minutes. And you can just look it up on YouTube under Jon Kabat-Zinn Mountain Meditation.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So just getting comfortable in your seat, lying down or sitting down, whatever is your posture right now, just getting comfortable. You may want to just, think of your body from tip of your head to the tip of your toes and just do a quick scan all the way down your body, making sure that all the parts of your body are, feeling relaxed and feeling aligned. And if not, then just maybe paying a little extra attention to that part of your body and being gentle and bringing a compassion to it that allows it to just soften and relax into the chair or the sofa that you're on. And then when you're ready, you might want to close your eyes or choose to keep them gently open in front of you, and that's okay too. Focused in front of you, I meant. And then focusing on your breathing, just feeling in each in-breath and each out breath. Just noticing your breath as it is without the need to change it in any way. And allowing the breath to create that rhythm inside of your body as it breathes in and breathes out. Noticing that your whole body moves along with that rhythm of your breath as the breath comes into your body and spreads around to all the nooks and crannies and gives oxygen to all the parts of you. And noticing as you sit or lay with a sense of dignity and a sense of resolve, feeling a sense of being complete in this very moment, your body reflecting that sense of wholeness. Now, as you sit here and breathe, picture in your mind's eye as best as you can the most beautiful mountain that you have ever seen or can imagine. Just focusing in on that image of the mountain and bringing it in clearer and in more detail as much as is possible. Observing the overall shape of the mountain, its lofty peak high in the sky, its firm foundation rooted in the ground, its steep or gently sloping sides. Noticing how large it is, what it's covered with, whether it's rock or grass or trees. Noticing how beautiful it is, both up close and from afar. Noticing the top of the mountain, whether it's got a prominent, sharp peak or whether it's got a flat and gentle top. Does it have snow at the top, or is it bare rock? Is it full of green or gray or browns or black? Whatever color it is, just accepting it as it is, noticing it, paying attention to it without judgment, just sitting and breathing with the image of this mountain in your mind's eye. Now, when you feel ready, seeing if you can bring the mountain into your own body so that the body here and the mountain in your mind's eye become one. So that as you sit here, you share in the massiveness and the stillness and the majesty of the mountain. You can become the mountain rooted in the sitting posture or laying posture. Your shoulders and arms, the sides of the peak, supported by the rest of the body. Your legs, the solid base rooted into your chair. And with each breath, as you continue, becoming a little more like a breathing mountain, unwavering in your stillness, completely what you are, beyond words and thought. A centered, rooted, strong, immovable presence. Now imagine yourself as the mountain and becoming aware that during the day, the sun travels across the sky and the light and the shadows and colors are changing moment by moment across the surface of the mountain. It goes from light to brighter, and then in the evening, as the sun drops, the shadows crawl across the mountain and it becomes darker and darker on the sides of the mountain. And in the night, a canopy of stars, the moon, shower over the mountain, just to lead into the sun rising again the next day. And through all of that, the mountain just sits, experiencing change moment by moment, constantly changing, yet always just being itself. It remains still as the seasons flow from winter to spring to summer to fall, and as the weather changes moment by moment, day by day. In summer, there's no snow on the mountain except perhaps for the very peaks. In fall, the mountain may wear a coat of brilliant fire colors. In the winter, a blanket of snow and ice. In any season, the mountain may find itself enshrouded in clouds or fog or pelted by freezing rain. People may come to see the mountain and comment on how beautiful it is or on how it's not a good day to see the mountain. But none of this matters to the mountain, which remains at all times its essential self. Clouds may come, clouds may go. Storms may come and pelt against the sides of the mountain, and then they go, and the sun comes back out, and its heat may intensify and hit the sides of the mountain and scorch, and yet the mountain remains the same. The mountain's magnificence and beauty are not changed one bit by the weather or by the way people see it. It just sits, being itself, day in and day out. It continues to sit, unmoved by the weather, by what happens on the surface, or by the world of appearances. And in the same way, as we sit here in our mindfulness, we can learn to experience the mountain we can also experience the same stillness and rootedness in the face of everything that changes in our own lives over seconds, hours, years. In our own lives and in our mindfulness practice, we constantly go through the changes of mind and body and world. We have our own periods of light and darkness. We have our moments of color and our moments of dark. We experience storms of many different intensities. We experience violence in the outer world, but also in our minds and in our bodies. We endure periods of darkness and pain, as well as moments of joy. But by becoming a mountain in our mindfulness practice, we can connect with its strength and stability and adopt that for our own. We can use its energy to support our energy, to encounter each moment with mindfulness and peace and clarity. It may help us to see that our thoughts and our feelings, the things that we're distracted by, our emotional storms and crises, even the events that happen around us, are very much like the weather on the mountain. We tend to take it all personally, but actually, it's very impersonal. The weather of our own lives is not to be denied or ignored. It's important to encounter it, to honor it, to feel it, to know it for what it is, and be aware of it. And in holding it in this way, we can come to know a deeper silence, a stillness, and a wisdom. Mountains have this to teach us, and much more, if we come to listen. And so, as this mindfulness practice comes to an end, just noting that image of the mountain, embodying in your own being, and knowing that you can come back to this feeling, this image of the mountain at any time. You can visit it. It's your mountain, available to you whenever you need it. And as you turn from the mountain to come back to this discussion, taking in more and more of the sounds around you, maybe moving in whatever way feels comfortable, feeling your body against the couch or the chair or the clothes that you're wearing, and then slowly opening your eyes to come back to the current discussion. How was that, Steve?
Well, actually, that was really good. And I'll just share something with you. Where I live, I can see the mountains.
Yeah?
I live on a ridge, so I can see the mountains. And when you were describing that,
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think that that's the first thing I look at in the morning when I take my dogs for a walk. I look
Wow.
towards the mountains, and at the night, that's the last thing I do too, is I look towards the mountains. But
Wow.
there's always yeah, and it's interesting because I never thought about it, but really, whenever I feel stressed or overwhelmed in my life, the first thing I say to my wife is, I think I need to go to the mountains
Yeah.
for that stability, or for that, it's kind of like a nurturing nature,
Yeah.
that it's real.
Yeah.
When you're in the mountains, and with the weather, it's just real. It's not something that you conjured up, or it's
Yeah.
not something you manipulate, but it's soothing to me.
Yeah.
Even though I can't control it, I find it very soothing. And so for me, that meditation was very appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of my very favorites because
Yeah,
the mountain just offers so much insight into how
yeah,
to deal with the unexpected
yeah,
flurries. And yeah,
yeah,
good. I'm
yeah.
glad
We're
you
lucky
enjoyed
we
that
live
one.
so close to the mountains.
I know. I was just thinking, I bet you a lot of people in Calgary really relate to the mountains because of being able to see them
Yeah,
so often in our day when we're out and about.
yeah. There's something that's always there in our life. You can't avoid it, right? It's just there. It's always going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Well, thank you for participating with me today.
Oh, thank you. It's very good. It's a nice way to start the
Yeah.
week, actually.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
the tone. Yes.
Even a rainy one.
Yes. Yeah. But like all storms, it'll pass.
It'll pass. That's right. The sun will be back.
All right.
Okay, well,
Thanks
you
a
have a
lot,
great
Melanie.
week. Yes, we'll
You
see
have
you
a good
next
one too.
Monday.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.